where do I fall short of who I'm required to be? It also allows you to start to become more of a creator. Which one do you listen to? It's the one you feed. Commit to your spiritual practice. And what that spiritual practice does is it gives you a sense of self-awareness so that you can start looking at yourself in the mirror and look at, where do I fall short of who I'm required to be? And it takes courage. It takes a lot of courage and it takes a lot of honesty to look ourselves in the mirror and say, I'm not always true to my word. I say I'm going to get all these things done this week, and I kind of do about 80%. I do 50%. I really wasted a lot of time this week and I didn't do much. So it's looking at ourselves in the mirror. That spiritual practice allows you to that space and that time to be honest with yourself. And then it also allows you to start to become more of a creator. So when you look at the difference, if I were to write the words reactor and creator, what's the difference in those two words? It's what you see, right? Reactor, the C's in the middle, creator, the C's in the front. You start with what you want to see. That's how you become a creator. A reactor, right? What does re mean? Doing it again. Act is taking action. Reactor means you're just running the same old tape. So when you commit to your spiritual practice, you're able to take a step back, be a creator, and in essence, slow life down. So you have time to see what you want, look at your perception and see what works for you, rather than acting in the same way that's gotten you the same results, that will continue to give you the same results. And setting those intentions, I'm really big on those intentions. And it's not supposed to be just kind of an act of, writing everything down monotonously or blindly. It's for you to set your intention for the day. So you start your day as a creator. And when you are in that place of creating your life, then, it's like one of my mentors, Brendan Burchard, a lot of you know him. He said he used to be asked all the time, like, what do you do when you're in a bad, when you have a bad day? Like, how do you redirect when you have a bad day? He's like, I never have bad days. I create my days. And that's where we want to get to the point of where you don't have bad days, because you're constantly creating. You set the intention. And so what you're looking for is evidence of that success. So you start with your day with intention, and you're present to what's going on now, with kind of an eye to your future, meaning you still have your vision, but you're not living in the future. If I always think I'm going to create this tomorrow, when does tomorrow come? Some of us are really good at tomorrow. Guess what? Tomorrow never comes. So we want to have our vision, but we live in the present moment. And that morning reflection allows us to do that. And it has to be intentional. I don't want you to do it blindly or just kind of like, oh yeah, as a chore, I got to get it done. I've already shared this a number of times and I apologize, but I was obsessed with the series Chosen. And so I'm going to quote it again. I've been obsessed with Disney in the past and I quoted a lot of Disney. So whatever I'm obsessed with in the moment, I'll be sharing. But what I noticed is that people were Jewish, right? And they had all of the Torah memorized and they would recite it at different times. So there was a morning Torah or a recitation from the Torah. And I apologize if I'm messing up I'm not 100% familiar with the religion, but there's morning prayer, a food prayer, an evening prayer, prayers for, Shabbat, for everything, for when you're scared, for when you want to ask God for forgiveness, with all of this stuff. And what's beautiful is they memorize it. And why do they memorize it? There's this beautiful scene where there's a little girl, she loses her father, and she keeps remembering her father saying, what do we say when we're scared? I get chills thinking about it. He asks her, because there's thunder and there's things, that she gets scared of. And then as she gets older, there's things that frighten her. And he always and she flashbacks to him saying, what do we say when we're scared? What do we say when we're scared? And she has memorized words from the Torah that's asking God to protect her. Why is that so important? Because what that does is it silences that voice in us that wants to take us down a dark place. And we all have that, right? We all have that spiral down that, oh my God, what am I going to do? I can't pay my bills. I'm going to go homeless. And what am I going to do next month? And, or oh, my husband, my wife, or I have cancer and I'm going to die and this thing's going to take over my whole body. And, we go down this spiral, and that having those words memorized is a way of changing your state. Changes your state immediately so you can go back to what do you want to create. And a prayer is a beautiful thing. An affirmation is a beautiful thing. Going to your vision is a beautiful thing. Reciting your intentions is a beautiful thing. So whatever we use to shift your state so that you can cancel those negative thoughts, because we know it goes down, it just takes us down and we keep going down, 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 right? And then at some point it's hard for us to get out. So it's kind of like the devil on one shoulder, the angel on the other. And there's, so many parables that talk about, well, they're both talking, loud and they're both fighting, which one will win? And the wise old man says, the one you listen to. Or if there's wolves, there's a bad wolf and a good wolf. Which one do you listen to? It's the one you feed. So that's part of, again, our spiritual practice, but that takes us through the entire day.